I owe Kyle Shanahan an apology. I mean, he lost 3 games in a row leading into this game. And you guys have watched me. I mean, I've been saying, like, is he tanking? Is he freaking tanking? What is his deal? Like, is he coaching to win? I know Robert Saleh is, but I can't tell with Kyle. Like, all the touches for Jerick McKinnon, not getting the ball to Kyle Juszczyk. What are you doing? You know what? I'm sorry, Kyle. I was wrong. You're a hell of a coach. Not only are you a hell of an offensive coordinator, because it's clear that you did great in terms of scheme and game planning today. You're working around maybe the worst offensive line in the league, and you won. You have a backup quarterback, and you won. That's fantastic. But I don't really question Kyle Shanahan's game planning, his play calling. I mean, I might question a play call here and there. I might question his play calling in the second half of Super Bowls, but basically, he's a top 5 play caller in the league. That's not his issue. Maybe the best play designer in the world. What I've been pointing out with or harping on the last few weeks is his leadership or lack thereof. I've said he's too negative. He's too quick to blame his quarterback. And Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator, has more of that upbeat positivity, is a better leader of men. That's what the conclusion I came to before this game. Robert Saleh, a better leader of men than Kyle Shanahan. Now, after the game, Richard Sherman came out and said, Robert Saleh, future stud head coach, no question a leader of men. I still believe that. But let's give Kyle Shanahan his credit. He's the head coach of the 49ers. I even went so far a few days ago to say that he really wasn't the head coach of this team. Saleh is. I said that Shanahan's basically the offensive coordinator. He has no feel for leadership, inspiration, none of it. Every answer for Kyle Shanahan is on the grease board or in his playbook. That's what I said. He tries to solve every problem with another gadget play. That's what I said. I was wrong, Kyle. I apologize. You're a hell of a coach. And I'm not basing that on your game plan today. I'm basing that on how hard your players played for you. Particularly on offense, because I think on defense they're playing for Robert. But on offense, I mean, they really played very, very, very hard. All your running backs, Nick Mullins, even the offensive line, which is awful. Everyone fights so hard for you. You're 4-6. I mean, the Bears are 5-5, and they won't fight for Matt Nagy like they fight for you. And none of us really think much of Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, we basically feel like he's not much better than Nick Mullins. We don't think much of him. But when Kyle Shanahan has Jimmy Garoppolo, he wins like 3/4 of the time. So I think it's fair to say that Kyle gets the most out of his players and that he really is coming into his own as a head coach. I stand by my criticisms of him from earlier this week. I do believe he can be too negative at times. I do believe he needs to work on inspiring professional athletes with more than just a gadget play. He did that today. He really did that today. He was terrific. After the game, I don't know if you saw the post-game press conferences, but it was like the best day of his life. He was praising every player. It's funny, like the Bay Area media hates Nick Mullins. I don't know why. I think it's because I like him, and I think my colleagues just want me to be wrong so hard. So after the game, I think it was Jennifer Lee Chan for NBC Sports Bay Area. Her question for Kyle Shanahan about Nick Mullins this was her question. First Nick Mullins question. Hey, Kyle, Nick Mullins really missed some throws in this game, consistently. It seems like there's an issue with him. Is there an issue with him throwing the ball? Because he really was inaccurate. That was the first question on Nick Mullins. And Kyle Shanahan had to sit there and be like, I mean, no. He missed some throws, but I really thought he was extremely tough. He battled. He won. Like, the question is basically every week, hey, Kyle, Nick Mullins sucks. Comment. Can you talk about how much Nick Mullins sucks? That's what the Bay Area media's attitude is. Jennifer Lee Chan works for NBC Sports Bay Area. They're partners with the 49ers. Coach, please talk about how much Nick Mullins sucks. And Kyle's like, he battled. He won. And so he had Nick Mullins back. He had the offensive lines back. He had the running backs back. And he was perfect after the game. Nothing but upbeat positivity. And the funny thing was, like, when people asked him about Deebo Samuel, who is just freaking amazing. I'm going to get to Deebo soon. Kyle's like, well, look, I mean, I don't give praise. He's so self-aware. I loved it. It was the best moment of his career as a head coach. I don't give praise. Like, I don't want to sit here and say that Deebo Samuel's great. He needs to keep improving, but Deebo Samuel's freaking great, is what he basically said. It was so relatable. It was so real and honest. I really have grown, I think, much higher of Kyle Shanahan today than I did yesterday. Basically, I felt that Kyle Shanahan, for years, that Kyle Shanahan is an offensive coordinator at heart, and he would rather lose pretty than win ugly. And what I mean by lose pretty, he's going to throw the ball down the field no matter who his offensive line is, no matter who his quarterback is, no matter who his wide receivers are, no matter who's healthy and who's out. And he can say, you know what? He was open. You got to execute. I don't care. You know, that's fine. That's an offensive coordinator. But a head coach says, you know what? I got to find something that my guys can execute. Technically, if I call these plays, guys will be open and I can say it's their fault. It's the quarterback's fault. It's the offensive line's fault. But a head coach doesn't make excuses. A head coach finds a way to win. Kyle Shanahan did that. He wasn't going bombs away. He protected Nick Mullins. He stuck with the run, even though they're averaging like 3 yards a carry. He was masterful. Kyle, I apologize. You're a hell of a coach. Hell of a coach. And you know what? You're going to lead this team to the playoffs this year. And you know what? This season is a bigger accomplishment for you and this team than last season was. Because last season was freaking easy. Last season, you got all the breaks. You got to face Jameis Winston, Kyle Allen, Mason Rudolph, bums at quarterback. You looked up before the season even started, and you were 8-0. This season is hard, way harder. And I think a lot of Niners fans aren't really ready for how difficult this is. A lot of you guys have been whiners. Whiners. I mean, a lot of you guys were rooting for the Niners to lose this game because you want a higher draft pick. Thank goodness that Kyle Shanahan doesn't think like you do. He's not tanking. You still think Kyle Shanahan's tanking? Hell no. A lot of respect for him. Kyle, way to go. Way to freaking go.